When it comes to the NBA, it is very easy to forget that we are watching the greatest athletes compete at the highest level day in and day out. Trust me when I say to watch basketball in the 2020s is a blessing, because there was a time where the NBA almost completely folded. Yes, we might not have the NBA right now as we know it if the shot clock was never invented. As we are going to get into later in this video, the shot clock did save basketball, and the reason I'm bringing the shot clock up is because if the shot clock existed in high school basketball in the state of Alabama, as you're about to see, we would never have had what could possibly be described as the worst basketball game you have ever seen. That is not an exaggeration. We are about to jump into the story of the high school basketball team that won a game 2-0. Yes, that's right, 2-0. So what's up guys, Mike here, and yes, today we are going to both be looking at the 2-0 game, and after we dive into that game, we will talk a little bit about the NBA and why they created the shot clock, because while the NBA has never had a 2-0 game, they did have a 19-18 game. Yes, that was a final score. In 1950, a game ended 19-18. Trust me guys, this is a crazy video. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and turn on post notifications. Also, please leave a like, it helps out a ton with YouTube's algorithm. And for now, let's jump into this video. And to set the stage here, if you're not in high school, I want you to imagine you're a high school student. You go to Bibb County, a high school in Alabama, and you're excited to watch your team play Brookwood High. The game is supposed to be a close one. Brookwood had only beaten Bibb County by a score of 40-36 earlier in the season, and so Bibb County was seeking their revenge. Now, the thing is, if you were an actual high school student watching this game, you would be watching history unfold before your eyes. Because in the locker room before tip-off, Brookwood coach Thad Fitzpatrick let his players know that he was going to rest them as much as he possibly could. The reason for this is that they had already played 3 games that week, which meant that Bibb County would be their 4th game, and already Brookwood players had been suffering. They had actually played the previous night, and a lot of guys had cramps among other injuries, so again, their coach made it clear they were going to get some rest. And to me, this is where the situation gets incredibly strange. And speaking of games, guys, I am very excited to say that this video is sponsored by Hunting Clash. And if you don't know what Hunting Clash is, the game is free and available on iOS and Android. And as you're about to see, it is very fun. So guys, as you can see, I'm playing the game right now, and right away, these are deer. We'll just take care of one of those real quick. 86 precision. So as you can see, we did take down a deer. There are a bunch of different animal cards in this game. When you get enough of one animal, you are able to upgrade them. That gives this card more power, more weight, a higher chance of appearing, and gives me more experience. Now, as you can see, experience helps with my level. I'm currently a level 12. You can also see you can join a club. I'm going to join Howard Stern, and now I can compete in club wars where I earn rewards. There are also challenges such as best score for hunting the bobcat. I'm gonna try doing that right now. Here we go. He stopped, and 90%. I'm currently 7th. There are also duels. As you can see, I'm going up against Wild Hippo right now, where you select a lure card. Time left 1 minute 20 seconds. Also go for a northeastern wolf. Come on. Oh, right there. Oh my. Right there. 94% precision right at the buzzer, and a victory because my opponent got nothing. Let's go. First place in championship promotion. And so with that, you guys see what Hunting Clash is all about. And really, this is just a glimpse of what they have to offer. There is a bunch to do here. There are challenges, there are championships, there are events, there are clubs, there are skills to unlock. Trust me guys, this is a great game. Again guys, the game is free and available on iOS and Android. The link is in my description right now. Go click it, go download Hunting Clash. Trust me, you're gonna have a lot of fun. Again, a link is in the description. Download Hunting Clash, and let's continue on with today's video. Actually, to anyone, the situation gets incredibly strange, because after winning the tip-off, a player on Bibb County's team would launch a 3-pointer when Brandon Rutledge, a 6'8" junior, would grab the rebound and score to make the game 2-0 in the very first possession. And because you know this game ends up being 2-0, you would think that it was Bibb County who would end up stalling this game. Nothing could be further from the truth, because after falling down by the grand score of 2-0, Brookwood began to run their offense, which was a Princeton-style motion offense, an offense that featured plenty of screens, backdoor cuts. You get the point. If you know the Princeton-style offense, you know that there is a lot of cutting involved. Only the problem was the Brookwood players were not cutting to the rim at all. In fact, Bibb County coach Russ Wallace would say, I could see that they weren't really trying to score, so I told my kids to back it off and play a zone. I didn't want to get worn down chasing after them. This meant that Brookwood, instead of passing the ball back and forth and running an actual offense, decided to change things up as their coach instructed their point guard, a senior by the name of Zach Lee, to just hold the ball. As Brookwood coach Thad Fitzpatrick would say, I wanted to get them out of the zone. I wasn't going to let them dictate the game. Keep in mind, guys, the score is 2-0. Brookwood has not run a full offensive possession yet. The reason Bibb County was playing a zone was because nobody was trying to score on Brookwood's team. And so because of this, Russ Wallace, again the coach at Bibb County, said, at first I thought he was joking around. I mean, he doesn't have the lead and he's sitting on the ball. I thought certainly he's not going to do this for the entire game, which sounds pretty logical, only we all know what happened. Because in this first quarter, yes, Brookwood held the ball for the entire quarter, finally ran their offense and attempted a shot to end the first quarter, only they bricked it. Then because Bibb County won the tip-off, Brookwood did get the ball to start the second quarter, and again, they held the ball for the entire quarter. They basically played the exact same way as the first quarter, and again, they missed a buzzer beater. And because the game was going this way, and because Brookwood's coach was being this stubborn, the coach of Bibb County told his players two can play at this game, which meant that after Bibb County got the ball to start the third quarter, Russ Wallace told his point guard to hold the ball 30 feet away from the basket. And wouldn't you know it, Brookwood decided to play a zone themselves and did not pressure him at all. Why would they do this when they were down by 2 points? I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me. The Brookwood players certainly got their rest in the first half. They didn't move, but for whatever reason, the game continued on with nothing on the court happening. However, off the court, the 200 fans that were watching were very, very mad. Some people started cursing at the players and telling them to play. Others, of course, got bored and started looking at their phones. And Fitzpatrick, Brookwood's coach, started singing to himself on the sidelines to pass the time. Yes, guys, this really happened. Now, eventually, of course, Bibb County missed their buzzer beater to end the third quarter, which meant we were headed into the fourth. It was a 2-0 game still, and Brookwood was down. You would assume by any logic that Brookwood would at least try to score the ball on their first possession of the fourth quarter to tie the game, because running the clock again all the way down and shooting another buzzer beater would just be too risky. Only that's not what they did. Again, the point guard held the ball at half court and both teams just stood there. As the man holding the ball, Brookwood point guard Zach Lee would say, it was really awkward just standing there with the ball. I was watching the defense to see if they'd come after me, and they never did. I was just following orders from coach. Finally, mercifully, this game would end as Brookwood would actually turn the ball over with 15 seconds left, which led to a Bibb County fast break where Brandon Rutledge, the game's leading scorer with 2 points, went up for a dunk and missed it. So yes, guys, this game did have a chance at getting to 4-0, but as Rutledge remembers, I was fouled, but the referee missed it. He was probably asleep, which was kind of understandable. And after this missed dunk, a Brookwood player would launch a 30-footer for the win, a shot he said he made half the time in practice, only this wasn't practice. This was the worst game of all time. It missed and Brookwood lost. And somehow Brookwood's coach was fine with this. He actually walked into the locker room with a smile on his face. As he told his players, think of it this way, we held them to 2 points. 2. What more could you possibly ask for? I think the answer we are all thinking is not being held to 0 points yourself. And that is exactly what Bibb County's coach talked about as he talked to his players and made it clear they just made history. They did something that most people thought was impossible. They had shut out the opposing team. However, with that in mind, Wallace definitely did not agree with this game. He actually was quoted as saying after, this adds more fuel to the fire that we need a shot clock in high school basketball in Alabama. I think the world of Coach Fitzpatrick, but I think his ego got the best of him. It got to the point where it was just comical and not basketball. And yeah, I've got to say, a 2-0 game, that is not something anyone wants to watch. And so at this point in the video, I do want to bring up the NBA and why they added the shot clock. Because as previously mentioned, yes, there was a time where in the NBA, the Fort Wayne Pistons beat the Minneapolis Lakers by a score of 19-18, which was the lowest scoring game in NBA history. This was obviously a problem. It was the same kind of situation situation. Players were just dribbling the clock out. They were just passing it around because there was no shot clock. Once you gained a lead, you could, if you wanted to, game the system and go for a win by just holding the ball. This problem kept popping up in the 1950s because during that time, whenever a team held a lead in the fourth quarter, they would simply have their point guard dribble around until they were fouled. Entire minutes would go by in between shot attempts. Every fan in every city was basically like a Philadelphia 76ers fan, aka they were booing their own players. As the owner of the Syracuse Nationals at the time, Danny Biazone, said, the game had become a stalling game. A team would get ahead even in the first half and it would go into a stall. The other team would keep fouling and it got to be a constant parade to the foul line. Boy, was it dull. Now, Danny Biazone, or Biazone, I'm sorry, I'm bad with pronunciations. He was actually the one who thought of the idea of the shot clock, and he brought it up at the annual owners meeting, where the owners were very, very receptive because they wanted to save basketball. That's how bad it was. People stopped showing up to basketball games. The league almost folded. It was losing money because no one wanted to watch basketball if basketball wasn't being played. And if you're wondering today why it's a 24-second shot clock exactly, here's what Danny, the owner of the Syracuse Nationals, had to say. I figured out we were averaging about 60 shots a game per team. 24 fits into the 60, so if each team used up 24 seconds for a shot, they would average 60 shots. But the exact number wasn't important. My idea was to keep the game going to speed it up. And of course, guys, that led to the shot clock we have today, which after making this video, which after talking about a 2-0 game, makes me very, very happy that the game has advanced to this point. And wrapping up this video, guys, again, I want to say thank you to Hunting Clash for sponsoring today's video. Remember, the game is free and available on iOS and Android, and right now the link is in my description. Go click the link in my description, go download Hunting Clash. Trust me, you will not regret it. It is a really fun game, and I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. You're awesome, we all know it, and as always, have an awesome day, and cue that music. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it, and other than that, have a great day and peace.